I'm going to. It's going to be a great one because there are a lot of people like this. Because well, people don't like face with the truth, I guess. It's interesting. What I like to do with Paul might not understand, or whatever. I just look through it with a different lens of understanding. It works very effectively. So I put economic theory to sex work, and then that really leads to a lot of other things. Um, I guess you have to believe that sex work, or women in general innately, possess the only naturally occurring currency. But it always is in demand and all of the value will never change. Some of us have learned to recognize it. Well, sex workers monetize it for that very reason. So that's why it's called the oldest professional. And because of that, well, because there's an absence in men who, by their nature, cannot naturally create. That's why they destroy it. Why do you think we send them to war? So what we teach them to do, we teach men violence from a very young age. And we teach women to be compliant. So, anyways, okay, so where am I going with this again? I don't know. Value. Okay, so you have to create value. Well, there isn't any because men have no value beyond moment of procreation. Women still have a whole bunch of work to do after that. So okay, great. So now that's further proof that no value. Still, great Christian myth of women being created out of man's rib. No man is superior. One. Then you have the burning times that destroy midwifery and any semblance of women's traditional knowledge of herbs and stuff. Now you have the male medical profession, which is now how to protect the legal profession, which are both run by men. Who then will tell you, well, oh, you can't use black cohash because it's a supplement that's never been proven to be effective. Well, okay, I believe you. But this book says that indigenous women have been using it for 20,000 years for PMS. So I think I'll believe them. Then they say, oh, well, that's how women believe strange things because they're women. Okay, well then, the monks in the Middle Ages were using a thing called the chase tree berry to reduce the libido. Oh, that's bullshit. It's about men. Men would never reduce the libido. So such a thing couldn't possibly exist. So that's how enough attitudes would like that. Everything exists as a locus of social control, and how you do it is you tell men to be afraid of period blood. That's one, because women are dirty. Oh, they're so smelly, because that's why you get the myth of the fish, the fishy pussy. Men are strong, so you invent circumcision. So you slice off a bit of the skin to make sure you reduce your sensation so you can last longer and it doesn't feel as good anyway. That's also control of men because you don't want them to get too excited because then they rape women. Of course, they don't tell men that part. Secondly, you shame them for masturbation through Kellogg's cornflakes, and that's a rabbit hole you really need to explore. And you tell them that if they masturbate, it's shameful because it can go hair on their palms. Story about that. In sex ed in school, I don't know, it was grade 6 or something. Yeah, I guess it was grade 6. So they say that thing about the guys. Have you ever heard the myth that guys, when they masturbate, it makes them go hair on their hands? Every guy in the class is doing this. I'm watching them because I don't need to. I don't do that. I don't know what it is. I have yet to know what male masturbation is. Boys do. Oh, grade 6 I had. Anyways, this girls don't do that. So I had no knowledge of it. I wasn't looking at my hand. I was looking down there wondering if that's why I grew pubic hair. Because I grind. So I just made the natural connection. Every girl in the place looks between their legs. All the guys look at their hands. It's just natural. So that was interesting. So they have to shame you that men teach you sex is shameful. Why? Why is sex shameful? Because the women control it. They have to shame it. Because it's something men actually, which truly actually belongs to all men. We just hold it in trust for them and we give it to them on demand. But then we invented something they don't really understand called consent. It really confuses them. Because they're taught to go get what they want with anger and violence. That's how you get raped. Because you've already valued women, it doesn't matter. That's why I hate sex workers. Because we know the value. And we charge for something they feel entitled to and demand. That's why sex workers are paying to get raped. Yeah, it's a really long rabbit hole because you just start doing things. Oh, then you go, I'll offend with this. Because men have no they have no value, you have to create the value for them. So you get a concept called masculinity, which is only defined by what it isn't. So it doesn't exist. And therefore is never attainable. So it's femininity, but it's not a word to use. The language used to denigrate men's sexual prowess. Number one, penis size. Everyone knows that. Easy. There's a reason for it. It's a biological imperative. Why do men thrust as deep as possible when they come? Because they have to get to the cervix. So a small penis means you're not a man. You're not going to pregnant a woman. It's why men won't have vasectomies. They're not a man anymore. It's why women, once they're not women, they can't produce children. They're really having sex with the old and ugly. It's why there exists the myth of male distinguished man. Here's a story for you. Oh, I don't know. Canadian Donald Sutherland, 80-year-old actor, but about Donald Sutherland, was very excited about his 25-year-old girlfriend. I've never seen better breasts in my life. That was the headline. Proving that old men, being old, can still, of course, get the pussy. Story about a woman, Helen Mirren, on the red carpet at Cannes. Helen Mirren scandalizes with low-cut dress at Cannes. How dare a woman of her age make people think she might be sexually available? That's disgusting. That's the message. So now, you get to reverse the narrative. You just keep going with that. It's everywhere. You're not a man if you wear a pink shirt or drive electric car or something. So what was it back in the cowboy days? If you wore, if you wore a palomino, you were a man. It had to be something. What kind of boots? And I don't know, boots you wear, shoes. There's always some sort of indicator for a man that he's not a man. It's self-fulfilling because they created it. They'll never fulfill it. They can't. They're not allowed to. They can't. It creates the need to continue to try to be a man. That's why they have to sell women beauty products. You're not a woman unless you buy this. That's your bigger breasts. Buy a water bra. Everything. It's all the same thing. It's aimed towards women. Everything aimed towards women is to enhance her sexual availability. Everything. And tell her why she has to do it. It'll enhance her sexual availability. It's the only thing that matters. That's why I call Mrs. Oh, she's Mrs. I can't fuck her. Divorcee. Oh, she's divorced now. I can fuck her. That's why they exist. That's why media has to say gay author. Oh, he's gay. No use to us now. He's a faggot. He can't reproduce. That's why people hate gay men. It's born out of that. So again, you go by your biological imperative. We're just mammals with cognition. The only thing that separates the mammals is their cognition. Everything else is the same. The biochemistry certainly is. So you have to create the illusionary value for man because it doesn't have any. So you create things like the auto industry. Give men a car to be part of. What do you think in assembly lines? It's sex. Slamming holes in things. And look at all the tools. How many tools in any things are penetrative or cutting? Why do they call a woman's vulva a gash or a slit? It's a language of violence. It's saying this is where you hurt her. You can't hurt her. Might as well. It bleeds anyways. That's exactly what they mean. Subtle in language. I'd hit that. They'll say, "Oh, I hit that." Girls even say the same thing. You're being conditioned to accept sex as violence because that was supposed to be as punishment for women denying. The reason for the existence of that is it's punishment for women thinking they get to deny men's acts. Just go back in the circle again. You're telling men they don't have control. And they have to. They're supposed to. That's what you tell them go on the child. What happens when a little boy yells? He gets his cookie. Go out and play. Go play. Let him lay outside. He's got no censure. The little girl yells. Settle down, Becky. Be a good girl. So now you're taught to be compliant. He's taught that violence solves problems. He gets him what he wants. It follows that course. If a woman group has that sexual utility, and now you know sexually available, her responsibility as a woman, because that's who she is to provide that service to you on demand. That's why they don't understand consent. They're taught it doesn't exist. You're taught to comply to their notion of consent doesn't exist. That's why rape trials torture the victim. It's you're wasting their time. Oh God, in one of these. Oh fuck, why are you even bothered? Oh Jesus, she's a sex worker. Fuck, what are you even doing here? That's what she gets paid to do, to get fucked. That's the thing. Oh God, she was asleep in the dorm. That's not rape. She was asleep. Doesn't care. You're not there because they're not the girl who wakes up and has to go and get Plan C, and then ends up with gonorrhea. Yeah. Oh, by the way, shamed by the entire dorm and has to move to a fucking new college. That's her consequences for being a slut. Greg gets nothing. Not a thing. No one cares. No one is not even considering. No, people don't think about it. Here's one for you. Another one. Societally, who denigrates unwed mothers more? 15-year-old girl has a baby. Who denigrates her more? Women. The look of visceral disgust a woman has any time she sees teenage pregnancy is a look of absolute disgust and pity. It should be of deepest, profound respect. No, it isn't. Because pregnancy itself means you can't have sex now. So it's denigrated as well. You're fat and ugly. You're bloated. You have ugly, rude breasts that are leaking things. So it means they're disgusting. Men who not possibly want to touch you sexually. You're useless to them. Just cut her open, cut a fucking baby out quickly. That's why they have cesareans, to make it easier on men. Male doctors. One woman shuts them up. Oh God, they scream a lot. Fuck, this takes so much time. Why don't you just have the baby already? That's why it was a cesarean. This just doesn't stop.